Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll present you Cloudfleet, which is a private data center. The problem is that we know since a couple of years now, latest since the revelations of Edward Snowden, that our emails and our data is not secure. Government actors, but also corporations like Google, harvest our data, store our data, and the possibility or our privacy is compromised by that. Basically, if you're not paying for the product, and usually people are used to not pay for the emails, if you're not paying for the product, then you are the product. It's a little bit like in poker. If you don't see the sucker on the table, you're the sucker. And our solution is a hardware device, because that's the only way you can make sure that you're always in control of your data. Until recently, this was really hard, because having a server at your home, they were really clunky, big, and took a lot of energy. Also, keeping it up to date is a hassle. But tools have been better. Computers got a little bit smaller. And nowadays, it's not a big problem. It's still not easy, but it's possible to have a mail server that is at your home. And we spent a lot of effort and energy to make it sure that it's really easy to host your mail server in a secure way at your home. So it's, of course, nobody wants to sacrifice usability for a little bit of security. So we made it really easy to set it up. So basically, what you do is you just pick your domain on our homepage. You get this little device sent to your home. That's just a prototype. We will have a nicer case later, but it's going to be about the same form factor. And you just plug it into your router, and we will be able to globally access it under an HTTPS URL that is encrypted and with a secure connection from anywhere. So with this device, then, only you have access to your data. So the data even on the device is encrypted. So there will be a security dongle. If you pull this out, someone who unplugs the thing and takes it away cannot do anything with it. They cannot read the data. It's just encrypted garbage. So even we will not be able to access your data. Only you will have the access to your data. And also, we cannot terminate it. Even if we would terminate your contract, you would still have your data on this and would be able to access it. We also created a nice cockpit because, of course, you want something that is at least as comfortable as Gmail. That's still in the. We're working on that. That's also why we need some crowdfunding to finish that up. It will have your inbox, the calendar, and maybe even a Bitcoin wallet or a nice peer-to-peer chat function if we meet our stretch goals. The market we want to tackle is there are already more than 1 million privacy-conscious people that pay for services like Proton Mail or Lavaboom that promise secure communications. And there are three things that you want to service with a offering like that. There is convenience, control, and privacy. And convenience, of course, Gmail and Yahoo Mail are very convenient. You just set it up. It's cheap. It's easy. You're the sucker. But then there is control. You just use the email offering of your ISP where you download the emails, but then it's only on one device, and it's hard to synchronize it. So you have control, but the convenience lacks, and also the privacy. Still, the ISP has access to your data. So then there are things that do a little bit better on the convenience and the privacy, things like Cozy Cloud. That's a system that you can install on your virtual private server, or your ISP can install for your Proton Mail that does encrypted mail. But still, you don't have the control, because if they cut you off, then you lose access to your data. On the other hand, there are systems that you can install yourself. You have to create to buy a Raspberry Pi, put it on, or stuff like that. So you have full control, but the convenience, I wouldn't count on it. So I wouldn't use it. But Cloudfleet is the only offering that really combines all three things. Yeah, we perfect privacy because even we cannot access your data. Convenience because we take care of the updating. It will always be secure with the newest technology. And control because you have it in your home and nobody can take the access of the data away from you. To finalize it and to really make it possible to have, for everyone to have privacy, not only for the tech geeks, we will start a crowdfunding campaign soon, probably at the end of the year. Our minimal target will be 50,000 euros. We'll stretch goals around 100,000, 200,000, where we will promise to create additional services like chat service or maybe a distributed social network. We'll have to decide on that still. And we will use a couple of marketing channels to get to this goal, like social media, newsletter, guest blogging. We'll hope to have a couple of viral videos. And we're thinking about a podcast. Our experience so far is what works is backing projects in the space. For example, we're using the webmail Mailpile. It's a project by an Icelandic hacker who created a webmail interface that makes it really easy to send encrypted emails. And we backed his project with a considerable amount. And he mentioned us in his closing email, and we got a lot of signups for a newsletter on that, basically on that. It's also getting mentioned. And also what's really working is going to conferences in the space, going to meetings like this, and tell people about it. What does not work is just tweet about it or tweet some privacy-related stuff. We tried that. Or just having a landing page. Yeah, if you have a nice landing page with a sign-up form, you also get sign-ups, about 2 a week or something like that, but it won't really create a crowd that you need. And we want you to help us. So we put up, especially for this meetup, we put up a little survey about our pricing structure. And generally, if you would be interested in a product like ours. So it would be really great if you would just scan the QR code or go to this URL, which is, I would scan the QR code, but it's reasonably short. And please help us by filling out the survey. Ironically hosted on Google Forms. But yeah. And of course, you can also just go to our webpage, sign up for our newsletter, and be informed of our crowdfunding campaign, and so that you don't miss the early bird specials for the first backers. Thank you, everybody. You don't understand.
Is this for private people?
Yes, it's for private people. For private people.
This is running your own mail server.
Yes.
But you know that there are a lot of technical and regulatory problems doing this.
There are technical problems doing this, yes.
And not only. I mean, there are like mails then marked as spam and everything. Do you?
Yes, we know this. It's not easy running your own mail server, and it's not for the faint of heart. But we want to do that that it's possible for everyone, because we think it's important. It's an important thing to be able to communicate securely via email and to have control over your data. So I know everybody tells us we're crazy that we do this, but it's a hard problem. We want to solve it, and we want to solve it for everyone, so that also non-technical people can do this.
But from the security side, it's the same like running your own server, like a Raspberry Pi.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
It's not more secure in any way.
It's not. It's in a way more secure because you don't have to care about updating it and always keeping it up to the newest practices. Like, I don't know, when was it? 2 weeks ago, there came a revelation that many webs that the NSA can break, many services that use weak Diffie-Hellman encryption. We had already hardened against this attack before that, but because it actually affected only old-fashioned or outdated servers. But you know, that gives you the peace of mind that it's always going to be staying on the newest patch levels, on the newest levels for security, and on the newest best practices.
So you will update it?
Yes. So there will be, everything that runs on this will be open source. So you can always know what is running on this device. So of course not the average person can inspect it, but we will have security audits that make sure that everything that runs on this device does exactly as advertised and nothing else. And so that you can always be sure that our updates also are something that, that is safe, secure, and guards your privacy. But we take care of the updates. Software, it's Linux, of course, like almost every server, except there are some people that still use BSD. But basically, the basic server, that's something that the user should not need to know. It will be published so that people can audit it and can be sure, and we will have security experts that audit it, but yeah. The interface for the user will be a web interface like with Gmail or Dropbox. Or I think there wasn't any other.
Do you need extra storage for this then, or is this included?
It will in the first version it will come with about 30 gigabytes of storage. Okay. There will be an extension product if you want really to store your whole video photo collection. Then you will be able to purchase an additional extension unit, because then you also need one thing that also comes with is zero knowledge backup service. So there will be a backup, but it will be encrypted on the box before it's sent to us, so that we don't have access to it. Only you can access it again. And for 1 terabyte, we needed a different service structure than for 30 gigabytes. Yes, it enforces security, it enforces privacy, and like many tools that we built, it can be used for nefarious purposes. Like a kitchen knife can be used to kill someone, but a kitchen knife is not primarily made to kill someone, and this is not primarily made to deal with drugs. Yes, it needs a power supply. Unfortunately, it can't draw the power from thin air. Yeah, no, there will be a power supply, basically a wall wart that will come with it. This is just a prototype. We're not. Yeah, so it will probably be micro USB. The final product, at the current stage of our development, it will probably be based on a Raspberry Pi 2.
It will work like an external hard disk drive for powering, or does it need an external device? Can I plug it to the laptop?
You can plug it to the laptop, but it will. The idea is that it's always on, that you plug it to your router and have it so that you don't need any configuration to do. So ideally, you don't plug it, because then it's only on when your laptop is on. Thankfully, with emails, it's not that bad, because even if it's offline for half a day or so, you get the emails half a day later. But yeah.
How many people are in your development team?
Our development team are now 4 people, me included. I'm not doing much development at the moment because I have to sell the thing. But there is Mark and Russian sitting over there, and we have a front-end developer working on our design who makes the stuff pretty. And
It's open source.
yes, and of course, we're standing on the shoulders of giants. Yeah. But the core team is now, we're now 6 people. Yeah.
Du hast ja gesagt, es geht Convenience. Ja?
Yes.
Das ist mir auch sozusagen das Allerwichtigste natürlich, dann auch, aber ich mache nichts Böses. Der Cloud-Teil. Anbieter wie Dropbox, Google Drive, OwnCloud haben ja Clients für
Ja.
Maschinenbetriebssystem. Das ist wäre mir sozusagen das Allerwichtigste bei dem. Wie schaut es bei euch aus? Habt ihr zum Beispiel für mein Windows-Gerät, und der ist vielleicht noch eins, die sind auch immer gut für einen Anwender. Habt ihr da einen Client? Wollt ihr einen Client machen dafür, dass das immer synchronisiert wird, oder muss ich die Daten?
Im Moment sind wir noch nicht für das File synchronisieren,
Genau.
sind wir im Moment am Überlegen, ob wir die Open Source Version von Ubuntu One verwenden, das Clients für alle Geräte hatte, oder C-File, die haben auch Clients für alle Geräte. Also ja, wird möglich sein. Punkt.
Last question.
Was kostet das?
Fill out our server, we don't know yet. We have, of course, it will, we want to make it cheaper over time. We want to, if we get 10,000 backers on our crowdfunding campaign, we will be able to make a much better price than if we get 1,000.
In case of 10,000, target price?
Target price, if we really get 10,000 on the crowdfunding campaign, I think we can sell the device for 150 euros. And the services that include the domain registration and the backup and the SSL certification that we take care of all this and the updates will be around 8 euros a month. So 2 beers and you're in.
So you produce them now here in Austria, or will you produce these devices?
Well, this device is, the prototype is a device that is made by a startup in Israel. As I said before, currently we think we will use Raspberry Pi as the basis for the final product. That might change depending on our support, and if we have enough backing on the crowdfunding campaign, or we have another investor, we might be able to create our own board and source that cheaper. But
the main price should be the hardware inside it, isn't it? The main source of the price.
well, yes. Well, there will be the hardware inside it. There will be a nice case that also looks nice, and the power supply. But yeah, and the assembly.
It could be interesting to have this service, but without hardware, like a virtual machine, for example.
Yes, yes. For people that want to have that, or want to assemble it themselves, maybe someone wants to cobble together a Raspberry Pi with his own case to really fit the furniture. We will offer a service like this.
The reason why it has to be a physical device is unless you have that, you never know you're not in a simulation. You never know you're not in the matrix unless you have an audible physical computation that you control. Mathematically, you can't guarantee that it's not been intercepted by the middleman. So that's the fundamental. It's going to take some explaining.
The problem is I do have a server at home.
If you have the server at home, you will. Yeah, no, of course.
Then at some point we'll let you run a virtual machine that you trust on it and pay us for the service. We'd like that.
Yep.
But we want to move more towards, we see this as the consumer product, right? Obviously, first adopters will be technical people to some extent. So we want to move it so that the ground owners can use this, right? And
Yeah.
stuff like that. But we want you on board and helping us make the service better. So we have to figure out a good story about that.
Okay.
Include the device into the price of the service.
That's the only problem with that is that as a bootstrap startup, it's really hard if you don't have a marginal cost of 0. So we have to charge anything for something for the device. If at a future level our calculations say that it's okay to give away the device for free, we will do it. But if I would announce this now, our business operations guy would kill me.